Scienceworks on this beautiful spring day.
Money marks, get set.
Hey internet, welcome back to my channel and this awkward angle that's kind of slanted and of Toby's lap. Kids are in the back sleeping, so that's why I'm using the microphone to be quiet so I can vlog. You may have just seen some clips of us at Scienceworks. This lighting is not super great. Very last minute, we decided to bring the kids because it was the first Saturday, it's the first weekend where the weather's actually not terrible. Like in terms of it's warm, we can go outside and not have to be cooped up inside. And I think we just couldn't decide what to do because we have so many errands around the house we need to do. Like there's so much prep work in the house we need to do. And I think we just got so overwhelmed, like, you know what? Let's just go take the kids to Scienceworks. They've never been. We've been wanting to go for a while and it was totally worthwhile. If you are parents out there and you are thinking and you live in Victoria, Melbourne, I know that like play centers are really popular, but they can be quite expensive and for what you get, not the best quality. Honestly, I feel like Scienceworks is so much better. Going to a place like Scienceworks or the Melbourne Museum or something like that is so much better for kids and the education and everything. And I don't know, I just really love Scienceworks. They've modernized a lot of things, like tampons and pads are free, which I've noticed in the Royal Botanical Garden. They offer those for free as well because they're like that sort of like female sanitary items shouldn't be like you shouldn't have to pay for them. They should be a right, which I never really even thought about it because I'm privileged enough to be able to afford it myself. But how good is that? Like that's so good. And then water, and then they don't sell any like sugary drinks or soft drinks. It's just like all water or flavored milk. That's it in the cafeteria, which genius, so good. So definitely recommend Scienceworks. There was so much to do that my kids are now completely knocked out in the back, which is so peaceful for Tobias and I to drive back home now. Yeah, it's so calm. Probably gonna be home pretty early because it's only gonna be like maybe 2:30 or 3. So probably spend some time doing some house stuff. And we'll see where the month takes us. So this is what Chatham looks like when it's not open. Or Apple Store. I always found that really interesting how the doors are all glass. So I've just spent the last hour or two swatching, playing with makeup. It's been the best. The kids went to sleep a little earlier and I actually feel super great because I was feeling pretty sick today. We had a pretty long weekend and today we did a big shop. It just reminds me I had all this food that I bought to cook for the kids. I have all these purees and these like kid-friendly how do you say them, that like they're like meatballs, meals, just like little meals that I want to make for them that are super healthy that I can freeze, so I want to bulk make them. I'm ever since I felt pregnant the first time, I've been really focused on nutrition, but especially for the kids I'm like hyper focused on nutrition. And we're very, I'm not gonna say strict, but we're very focused on good meals and good quality food. So I spend a lot of time researching, cooking, and experimenting because obviously they don't eat everything you give them. In fact, my oldest now is on a beige diet. So I've been finding different ways to hide vegetables into his meals and making sure that he still has a good protein levels and things like that. At least my youngest, she's still learning how to eat, but she'll eat anything you give her pretty much. So I can give her steamed broccoli and she's totally fine and loves it. I do miss when my oldest was like that, and I thought they were always going to be like that, but no, they get older and they get really picky with what they want to eat, so I know her pickiness is coming soon. So the better I get at cooking delicious, healthy meals, the better for the kids and better for the family. But I got really sick for some reason. I got a really bad migraine and then I was throwing up, and so I was pretty much out of it for the afternoon. I'm so grateful that Toby has just stepped up, even though it's Father's Day, so I feel like he should be relaxing, stepped up and looked after everything, took care of everything. So grateful, and now I'm just feeling better. Anyways, I thought I would show you a little bit. I keep talking about how I want to tidy up my working space, and this is kind of my working space. You don't see, actually doesn't look so bad, even though for some people it probably is quite terrible. It's not as bad as what I'm looking at right now. But my goal, especially before Tobias' family gets here at the end of the year, because they'll be staying with us and they have little kids too, so I want to make sure I clean everything before they get here. But that's kind of like random stuff that tends to get thrown up there because I don't want the kids to touch stuff. So anytime I find something that they've got, I'll just put it up there, and then it's now a collection of stuff. This is my photography area. I used to do my planner filming back there. That's why it's got like permanent lights fixtures there. But now I do all my planner filming here where I'm sitting, and I'm probably going to do that for the foreseeable future. I also now, so it's just so much easier to do it here because I have all my things here. So now I have to figure out how I want to repurpose that section. It's still going to be like photography, camera, content creation, but just in a way that's a little more versatile, I don't know. And not just like a set filming section. So we'll see. I have a lot of ideas and I'm excited to play around with it. But yeah, now I'm going to clean up the mess that I've made and then probably just keep on tidying up until it's time to go to bed.
I want to fall down. The moth fall down.
It's a bit like it's a bit easier, but it reminds me a bit of those the hot wire games.
Look at this vending machine for stamps. This is so cool. I kind of want to get the stamps. I mean, I use them anyways for my shop, so maybe I will. Or maybe I'll get those ones. The booklet. Look at it. How cool.
Lilafarbenen Zug. Da siehst du den großen lilafarbenen Zug?
The one.
Einer ist blau und einer ist lila.
It's all hand painted. Okay, but how cool is this Mario-like obstacle course that kids have to do? I mean, I kind of want to do this myself. We are at a place called Dream Race in Docklands. We actually came to the Docklands early today to do Imaginator, which is like, if you've ever done Team Labs, it's like a sample of it, like a taste of Team Labs. But Team Labs way more extensive and way more polished. So if you can't get to a Team Labs and you want to see what it's kind of like, Imaginator in Docklands is kind of similar. A nice taste of it. But probably ran through that in about 30 minutes. After that, we went to Art Row, which I'm just vlogging. Art Row, which in retrospect probably was a little bit too mature for our kids. They're still a little young. So now we're in a place called Dream Race, which is basically an indoor theme park, indoor playground. So yeah, we're just kind of spending the weekend in the city, just doing stuff with the kids, chilling, taking it easy. And this is the insane slide. It is quite long.
Fire there? Fire there?
Back home?
It's called
Never seen it because we're never here.
Yeah, can you see it? It's in front. There's a bridge there. The Bote Bridge. Oh, yeah, Bote Bridge. Yeah, 这个叫 Bote 桥梁。
I think it's the biggest Halloween I've ever been to.
Yeah, well, we've never really gone.
Oh, we've never really gone, but yeah.
I'd say the biggest one was probably when we were in San Francisco. By the way, I'm going to be working as I talk because that's really the only way I can film at the moment. Kids are asleep, it's late at night, and I have a lot of work to get done. But I've been really wanting to vlog, at least close out the current vlogs that I have, because I don't even know. Like, I've just been filming for a few months now, and I think the last video that went out was somewhere early October. Right now, it is almost mid-November, and I have a ton of footage. And I need to really sort that out and figure out what sort of vlog I'm putting out. But a lot has happened in my mind, and I thought I would like to verbalize it all before I officially move on. Sorry, I keep looking back here because I'm using the back of my camera of my phone to film just because it is better quality, but there's no screen, so I can't really see what's going on. So hopefully everything is in shot. Why I wanted to like kind of close out these vlogs before I move on. I feel like I'm like closing a chapter and moving on to the next chapter, if that makes sense, just so that it's clear in my mind. And I just have a lot of things going on in my head, a lot of thoughts and emotions, and this is what this channel is for, just a dumping ground of all of that. So yeah, I officially am supposed to be going back to work pretty much in a week or two, but luckily I've been very fortunate and it's been postponed just a couple months. So that has made me very happy, but also in some ways very contemplative about the position I'm in. So for reference right now, I'm just cutting a lot of sticker sheets. I've got so much sticker work to do, which I'm very, very grateful for. But funnily enough, despite having so much work to do, it's still not enough. So I'm always kind of like worried about what I say in these sort of videos because I never know who's watching. And for the longest time, I've always been really scared about like I knew people at work watching my videos forever since I started working. And I felt like I needed to always come across like the most important thing in my life was my career. And honestly, for a long time, it really was. Probably for a good almost 2 decades of my life, my career, my education, that was like the most important thing ever. And I would say my career is still really important to me, but I would say that I feel like my career is shifting. And I've always felt like I couldn't say that because what if my manager or like someone higher up is watching and I come off like I want to do other things with my life? And then I'm like, okay, but let's be honest, like who dreams of being in a corporation? Like who wakes up and dreams about their life and think, you know what, I really, really want to work for a bank. Not that I work for a bank, but I'm just giving an example, you know, like I really want to work for this big multi-billion-dollar corporation and just go in 9 to 5 every day for the rest of my life until I hit retirement. I mean, maybe there's some people like that, but I don't think most people are like that. At least most people I meet, even at work, I feel like most people, if they had the choice to do something that they personally cared about more, they they would, but we all do it because we need the money. And I am no different. So I've always been scared to talk about things like that, but you know what? Like, life's too short, and I think I've just gotten to a point in my life where I don't want to pretend either. Like, I just want to be honest with how I feel and what I'm thinking. And so that is who I am. And if for some reason that offends anyone, then I'm very sorry, because that was not my intention, but I'm just being me. One of the plans, so the reason the whole going back to work thing kind of bumps me out a little bit, even though I will just say that I have a very lovely job. I work with very lovely people, and given like if you think about in the grand scheme of jobs, I'm actually really lucky because I like the work I do. I like the people I work for. It's very, very accommodating towards, especially since I've become a mother, super accommodating to motherhood. So I couldn't really ask for a better job. So I just have to say I am very grateful, because I know not many people are in that situation and can sit here and talk with such privilege. So just get that out of the way. I already know that, but I'm just gonna talk about, first world problems here. One of the things I remember when I was on maternity leave the first time around with my first child is that I told Tobias that by the time I have my second child, because I knew I probably wanted to try for a second, I just didn't think I would be able to have one. But if I was to be lucky enough to go on maternity leave again for my second child, I want to be in a position where I could financially quit my job. And that hasn't happened. And it, like, I was journaling about it earlier today because I try to like really go through my thoughts. It's kind of like my therapy, that I need to process these thoughts and things just to be a better mom. Whole other tangent, motherhood. But yeah, it kind of, the thing is, I'm not in a position where I could just quit my day job and then do all the things I'm doing online right now. But where I was 2-3 years ago to where I am now is significantly better than I was. I'm not gonna say what I thought, but like definitely better. Things have definitely improved. I'm very busy. I'm constantly doing orders, and I'm very lucky that I have a pretty good busy workload now. And I think that if it was to get to the point where I could quit my job, I probably actually need to think about hiring someone to help me, because it would be a little crazy, especially because like it's not like I would be exchanging my 9 to 5 to sit at home 9 to 5 to my sticker shop. I would be wanting to stay at home so I could be with my kids. So I'd still need to figure out how to work in the evenings and things like that. So, and that would be the main reason. In this point in my life, the main reason I don't want to go back to work is because I do want to spend all my time with my children. That being said, like I said, my current job, so lucky, is extremely supportive of my motherhood journey. They let me work part-time. There's a good chunk of time I can work from home. And then so that combined with Tobias has meant that we are able to maximize our time with our kids. And the very, very few times, like I think it's like only 1.5 days a week where both of us are working at the same time, something like that. That's how it kind of worked out. My parents look after my kids, so they're always with family, and we all live together. Like I live right next door, so it's kind of like the best world I can hope for besides being a stay-at-home mom, and I want to, I know that's like really lucky, but I think I'm just a little disappointed in myself that I didn't hit the goal that I intended for myself. Like I really thought, I don't know, that I would get there at some point, and I'm just not there. But I have to remind myself that I'm just not there yet. Like maybe I will get there. And even then I'm like, I don't want to talk like maybe I will get there. No, I will get there. I know I will. I know I can work hard. I know I can achieve things. So I don't know what, I'm a little bit apprehensive to tell you what my next goals are, because I'm that sort of person that if I do, then it feels like I've accomplished it, and then I'm probably not going to achieve it. But I will say that I have certain plans in place to really try to achieve the goal, where I can spend all my time with my kids, and have a little bit more freedom as to how the time is spent, especially when I think about So this is a whole other thing. See, this is such a rambly vlog right now. But I need to also pack orders. 1 second. Yeah, I've got this like express order, and every time someone sends an express order, I don't know if they realize that express is just shipping express, not fulfillment express, because there's a certain amount of time I need to process the order, and then a certain amount of time it takes to ship. But every time someone submits an express order, I'm pretty sure they think processing is express too. So anyways, what I'm saying is that I try to make it top priority to get those orders out ASAP, and I have one that I would like to get out tomorrow. So tomorrow's Monday, today's Sunday. This feels like a cozy sit down day. Let me just count the stickers first. Okay, I've packed the order, so I can put that aside and feel good about the fact that I managed to hit that goal. So what was I saying? I've been thinking about a lot of things, doing a lot of things online. I think I'm also in like rabbit holes online, so that's probably what's influencing me. But I went through a bit of a phase, and I still like half consider it like homeschooling the kids. And I could really only do that if I give up my career, because I would have to be at home the whole time teaching them. So that was one option I went with, but I think that we still want to at least try, because I went through the whole schooling system, and there are pros and cons to it, and I think we might soft launch it, like soft try a little bit and see how we go. And if for some reason we feel like it's just not working out for us, then we can discuss. But if I don't work towards my goals, then I won't even be in a position where homeschooling could be an option, where I could still bring in an income and be at home with the kids. Do you know what I mean? And then even if they did go through the schooling system, there's school holidays. So I don't know if you guys live in Australia or anything, but the number of school holidays kids get versus the amount of annual leave parents get at their job is completely disproportionate. And so often kids, at least for me when I was growing up, my parents had to put me into like after cares. And I remember after school, I would always go to aftercare, and I'd be there till like 5:30 or something, and I'd be really exhausted by the time I get home because I'm just tired. And then every school holiday, I was always at some care center as well. Like I'm that kid that basically, I think by the time I was 6 months old, I've been put into daycare. And so I grew up in daycare. And I have no issue with like external care, because it's so wonderful that that's available to parents, because so many people need it. Like my parents desperately needed it. But I feel like I'm in a position in life where I want something different for my own family, you know? But it does mean that I can't work as much in the traditional sense if that's what I want. So that's kind of like the driving force behind all my decisions at the moment. And yeah, so if I have some goals set, I'm really hopeful that 2026 will be a fruitful year. And hopefully you guys will see some of the changes. I don't know how often this channel is going to be updated as a result of that, because I really need to focus on other things at the moment, just getting all those other things done, because the vlog channel is really just more of a hobby channel for me, just some place where I can vent, talk, and make creative vlogs. But some of the changes I feel comfortable talking about is that, like for Fables and Fashion, which is my main beauty channel, I have consistently over the last 1 or 2 years, so go me, even though the frequency is very low, it's like once a month, but I've very consistently uploaded a beauty video and then like a travel video. And it's just really obvious to me that nobody cares about my travel videos. Even though I love making them, I have so much fun, and I would still love to make them, and I think I still will for like big trips, like when I went to Japan, or if we do another big trip. We don't have any like major trip planned, but I started doing videos around smaller trips, like weekend aways and things like that. I think I'm just going to stop doing those sort of videos, especially on Fables and Fashion. I might upload them here and they will be very casual and chill, but Fables and Fashion, the statistics and the analytics is telling me that people just want beauty stuff, because my beauty videos perform much better than any of the other videos. So that's one of the big changes for 2026, is that it's just going to be purely beauty / fashion. I say fashion because it literally has the word fashion in the name, but I'm not really, I need to be cutting and talking, like waving my hands about, but I need to also keep working. That's one change for Fables and Fashion, just going to be beauty videos, which actually, in all honesty, it does make planning so much easier, because I can actually sit down. I'm hoping that by the end of the week, it's Sunday, I've already planned out about 6 months worth of content I intend to do for Fables of Fashion. I hope by the end of this coming week, I'll have the whole year planned. So then that's out of my head. And then I can focus in on a beautiful fable. That's probably where a lot of my attention is going to go. And I'm still trying to figure out the content for that channel. Right now, it's a lot of Zen Pop box unboxing videos because that is honestly the easiest videos for me to film. These boxes just come, I set up my phone and I just film. But I definitely want to do more, like I want to increase the frequency to once a week back on that channel. And I want to be a little bit more intentional about the sort of videos I film on that channel. So that would mean that I really need to sit down and plan. I'm also planning to do a lot more blogging, so that's also content planning. So I'm spending a lot of time in Notion right now, not sponsored, but you know, one day maybe, planning all the content across the brands just to make sure that I have everything I need in my head. Ideally the whole year, that would be great, but at least 6 months worth, and then I can just kind of start knocking them out and then creating to-do lists. So that's kind of where my headspace is, and I'm hoping that everything I do needs to kind of correlate to the end goal, which is exactly why I feel like the vlog channel might suffer as a result. Even though I really like sitting here and talking, it's so therapeutic, which is the only reason I keep it up, because it is like good for my mental health, you know, it's like good for the soul. I need to get through these stickers. I really need to use this time to get as much work as done possibly. So yes, I wanted to close off the vlog, and hopefully the vlog wasn't too chaotic, but thank you so much for watching, sticking by me. If you want to see all the things I'm doing, then be sure to follow me on A Beautiful Fable or Fables of Fashion. Those are my other 2 YouTube channels, which are going to be, I promise, more active in 2026. So yeah, and if you're curious about my sticker shop, I don't know if I ever mentioned it, Happy Clouding. That's like my main thing that I do right now. But obviously next year, hoping to branch out a little bit. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. This is Lena reporting from my house. Back to you, internet.